What's up, guys? Welcome back to Transcending Waves Crypto. Bringing you a probably unpopular topic today for why I think the top for Bitcoin might potentially be in. For this, we have to just look at the higher time frames. So we're here on a 2-week chart. And if you look at when the uptrend started, it was back here, December 22 was the bottom. And you can see that the oscillators down here, the RSI, the MACD, and the Joule indicator here as well, we're all at the lows. And if you look now at where the oscillators are at, you can see on the Joule 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence. You can also see it on the RSI 1, 2, 3, as well as the MACD 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence. And then also on the RSI, you can see that it rejected off of the EMA from the bullish control zone, and now it's going lower. 58 now, and it's kind of just going down lower into neutral. So hopefully I'm wrong, but for me personally, I'm okay with just putting my money elsewhere for now, realizing the profit and putting it in other assets where the oscillators look better. And at the very least, I just want to see what happens with oscillators after this move. I think best case scenario, obviously, would be for Bitcoin to just go up from here. And I think a more mild scenario, not the best, but maybe something else would be like if it came down and made another higher low around here at around maybe 80K or something like that in this range. That would probably be that's not the best case scenario. It's maybe like the mild case scenario. If it were to just come down here, form like a rectangle formation, and put in a higher low, maybe somewhere around here in the 80s or something like that. But I'm mainly just going off of how the oscillators look. So on the 2-week chart, like you have 3 drives of bearish divergence on all these different oscillators. If you go up to a 3-week, you're seeing the same thing. 1, 2, 3. RSI is rejecting from the bullish control zone. And then the monthly is up here too. The RSI is dancing around the bullish control zone. Then if you go down to a weekly, this is not the greatest looking setup for this Joule oscillator here. And at the very least, probably want to see what happens if it does something like this, like the low at 75K. Maybe worst case scenario would be if it came down to retest the 200 simple on the weekly again. Right now that's at 55K, but with time it'll naturally rise. So we'll have to see what happens there. But for now, I'm just gonna put my money into other assets, maybe in the stock market where the oscillators look prime, because back here, for example, when Bitcoin was at 25K, all the oscillators were at the low and they were more in bullish posturings around here. And it had a significant move up. And with 3 drives of bearish divergence on major higher time frames, I don't think it's the worst idea to just realize some profit, maybe reallocate in some other assets and see what happens. And another thing to look at is tether dominance. It's like the inverse of the Bitcoin chart, where on the 2-week, forming a base on the 200 simple moving average, and all the oscillators, the RSI, the Joule, the MACD, are in more bullish posturings after correcting for a significant amount of time. So hopefully I'm wrong about it, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that if anything, maybe Bitcoin is just in for a little bit of a correction, maybe some time sideways and down. Mild scenario would be making a higher low. Best case scenario would be just going up from exactly where it is now. I think my mild scenario, like I said, would be forming a higher low around here. And maybe like one of the worst case scenarios would be if you look on like the weekly, like some kind of reconnect with the 200 simple, wherever that ends up being. Right now it's at like 55-ish K. But I think I'll leave things there for now. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, and I could be wrong too. Hopefully I am, because if Bitcoin's going down, then alts are definitely going to get wrecked. And yeah, would rather everybody makes money. But I'm just going to leave this out here and just let you guys know what I'm thinking, how the oscillators are looking on the higher time frames. And we'll be sure to follow up again in our next video. So I appreciate your guys' time and see you in the next one.